All right, let's get into this straight away. How to make your first £100,000, dollars, euros, selling on Amazon step by step in 2020. This is going to be an incredible video. I've put just a phenomenal amount of time into making this. So I cannot wait to share it with you. Every year or so, 6 to 12 months or so, I do a video like this. Gets incredible feedback, and I'm so glad to be able to present another one to you today. So in true fashion, if you've ever seen one of these videos before, I'm doing a giveaway to get things started. So you've come here because you want to learn about how to sell on Amazon, how to generate income and change your life. So I want to be able to help you do that. So I've actually come up with a giveaway. So you have the chance to win, first of all, a scholarship to the Seller Pro Academy. That's my full training program, along with all my mentorship, all my personal support, and being part of the community and everything that comes with it. So you have a chance to win that today. You also have the chance to win a subscription to Jungle Scout. I'll pay the first month for you, and that's a product research tool that will help you be able to find products to sell on Amazon. The last is Hydro Fuel Bottle. It's one of my products. There's not one around here to hand, but it's one of my products because I want to be able to send it to you and show you kind of what it looks like to get packaging done, to have the product in your hand. So it's something, and obviously, hopefully, you'll actually use it and like it as well. So you will have the chance to be able to win these. All you have to do to enter for free is just comment right now on this video, just with the phrase Amazon FBA. You can say more than that, but as long as Amazon FBA is in there somewhere, and that'll be really, really helpful. The next thing you've got to do is just like the video. Really nice and simple. It doesn't cost you anything. It's going to take you about 10 seconds to do that, but it really helped me out, and it will enter you for the competition. So to pick the winners, 1 out of every 500 people that comment will win the scholarship. 1 out of every 250 people the Jungle Scout membership, and 1 out of every 100 people will get a Hydro Fuel bottle, and that's just in the UK only. So this is really, really simple. Every time we get about like 500 comments, then I will pick 1 person for the scholarship, 2 people for the membership, and then 5 people for the Hydro Fuel bottle. So that's going to be really nice and easy, and I'll come back to this again and again and again over the next kind of 12 months or so. So if you are watching this after the upload date, don't worry, it'll still be available for you. So the winners are going to be notified with a reply on their comment. So if you do see a notification pop up that says, hey, Johnny's commented on your comment, then just go and check it out to see if it's me letting you know that you've won. And then I'll let you know the details on how to claim your prize. So you can leave multiple comments if you want. Just bear in mind that if you start spamming the comments, then YouTube automatically remove all your comments as spam. It goes through the spam filter. So just obviously don't just spam like, oh my God, I want to win like 50,000 times, because it will mean that all of them will be removed. And that's not something I do, that's YouTube do that. If you don't have time to watch this video, if you look down below at the little timer on how long this video is, I've put a lot of work into this, but if you don't have time to actually watch it, I appreciate that. Everything that we're going to speak about is covered in the One Product Strategy book. For example, on page 41, you're going to find out about how to find products that no one else is searching for. Page 79, you'll find the 8 things that you need to master negotiations and to get the highest quality for the lowest cost. Page 130, you'll get my exact email follow-up sequence, along with my process on how to overcome customer objections to keep customers happy. So all of that's in the book. Link is down below. It's free, just plus a few dollars shipping if you want to get that, and we'll send it anywhere in the world. So let's get into this. I'm just got one little thing I want to show you, and then we're getting into the content, okay? This isn't just some YouTuber nonsense that you will find on YouTube where people are just regurgitating other people's stuff, okay? This isn't that. This is going through the strategy that I've been working on for a long, long, long time. And importantly, this stuff doesn't just work for me, okay? A lot of people out there will try and teach you how to sell on Amazon, but they've never actually taught other people how to do it, and they've never being able to see what works and actually what doesn't work. So I've done this, and just to prove that to you, here are some results from some of my clients: 30K, 68K per month, 10K, 500,000, 114,000, 78,000, 10,000. And this just goes on and on and on. I've got tons of these. There's just so many of these, right? I even created the 10K and 100K club awards. So when my clients make their first 10,000 or 100,000, I get them these awards. And I've given these out to tons of people as well. I meet up with these people in person. There's Jason getting his first 10K and then getting his 100K. You can see the progression there. So this is real. These are real people, real results. And the thing that I want to let you know is that this is achievable for anyone that puts their mind to it. Of course, there's work involved, but you really are just one product away. Okay, you're one product away from making a huge, huge change in your life. But you have to put the work in, you have to put the time in, and importantly, you have to know the process. There's so many moving parts within an Amazon FBA and private labeling business, or any business for that matter. You really need to be informed, you need to have a mentor, and this video if you watch this start to finish, you're going to get a huge amount of information. Granted, some of the things we can't go into super detail. That's what my training program's for. But you're going to get a really good holistic overview of everything that you shall need, okay? In this training, we're going to start at the very beginning, okay? Because I don't want to assume you know anything in terms of acronyms and stuff like that. But what we're going to do as the training goes on, I'm going to build up your knowledge. I'm going to get more and more advanced until the very end when we're talking about actually some really high level stuff. So it's going to be very informative for anyone at any stage. And you can obviously skip forward and stuff like that as well. If there is anyone that wants to put timestamps in the comments, then feel free to do that. That'd be really helpful to other people that do want to kind of skip ahead, okay? If you do have any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment down below and I'll get back to as many people as possible. Reach out to me directly at support@johnnybradley.com. I'll try and help as many people as I can for free. Just due to my time constraints, that can change. On Instagram at Jonny Bradley UK. The best thing for you to do if you want to know more information, of course, is subscribe to get the best FBA content online. So let's crack into this straight away. I'm not going to teach you to suck eggs, guys. It's very easy to find out this information, but let's just cover what Amazon FBA is, just so we're all on the same page. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, and it's this process that you see on the screen right now. You send your products to Amazon. In our case, I'm buying them from China and I'm getting my Chinese supplier to send them directly to Amazon. So I never actually touch the products. I don't have to pick them up from the post office and then send them into Amazon. I'm getting them to send them directly to Amazon. So I never see the products. Amazon store the products in their warehouses. You may have seen some of their massive warehouses. Like there's one on the M1. Customer buys the product and then Amazon will then pick that product from their shelf and then send it out to the customer so the customer receives it. And that's FBA. That's what that means. That's what that process is. It's a logistical process and that's what it does, okay? The benefits of this is that customers get next day delivery and sometimes same day delivery as a Prime member. Customers can also buy with one click and no checkout, which is really, really cool because that means when you go on Amazon, they don't have abandoned cart is an issue or is a drop-off point for a lot of businesses. So if you don't have a cart, right, a shopping basket, then it's one step where you don't lose a customer. So having a one-click checkout is really, really cool. Very, very good for conversions. And also you can pay with 0 clicks with Alexa. I can't remember what that last one was. Let's see what it was. Yeah, this is actually really important. Amazon has become one of the most trusted brands online. They're so super huge. And you get to leverage that trust with your business, even if you've never sold anything before. If you have no brand, if you have no history, if you've never run a business before, you get to leverage the brand and the trust that Amazon has. Because a lot of people, the majority of people that shop on Amazon don't know that the products that they're buying are coming from people like you and me. They think that Amazon is the person they're buying it from, but it's actually not the case. Amazon is just an intermediary. They're a sales platform, and in our case, they're a fulfillment system as well, a fulfillment service. So it's really cool that you get to leverage that trust, and that's really, really important. So in 2020, you want to be able to leverage this because millions of customers are visiting Amazon every single day. You're not going to have the issue of not having enough customers as long as you follow what we're going to follow today in this training, okay? You won't need to store your products yourself, so you don't have to have a warehouse like many other different business models, or you don't have to have a physical shop. And with private labeling, which is creating a brand, then you're able to diversify against your competition, create something unique, and not get into these price wars that you'd find with commodity-based products. So things that really are price-driven, like tissue paper, for example. You're not going to spend more on tissue paper because it just is. There's not really anything to it. Okay, people just want it cheap. So when I first started, I used the same systems that everyone else was using. Okay, I used the same systems. I would go on YouTube and I would look and I bought training, and everyone was saying the same thing. And I didn't, you know, although it works, it's just not the way that I wanted to do it. So I started to do it my own way. Okay, and I started to replicate this system with other people, and I call it the one product strategy. Okay, it's like my Mona Lisa. It's my E = mc squared. It's my masterpiece. It works. It just works in an incredible way. And when I started sharing it with other people, that's when they started getting these crazy results. So this is the one product strategy, okay? And it may look confusing right now because there are many moving parts, but what we're going to do in this video, in this training, which is why it's quite long, is we're going to go through each one of these things, and I'm going to give you some really actionable, important, and very useful information that you can use. So you might need, take screenshots, have a pen and paper at the ready. You're not going to remember everything in this training video from the first time watching it through because there's a lot of information. So take notes and obviously come back to the video as many times as you want. Okay. So the first thing we're going to look at is product discovery, and product discovery, I look at these two kind of aspects you see on the left and right hand side. Okay. So I would class product discovery as the process of identifying and assessing potential product options and creating irresistible product offers. Okay. So it's identifying and assessing and analyzing product options, so potential products, and then creating offers, basically like bundles, offers around that product that are irresistible. The customers look at it and go, that's wicked. I want that product rather than the competition. Okay. It's kind of like marketing. It's kind of like product research, market research, all combined together. So to be most efficient with this, there's a few things you actually need to know before you do it. So there's tons of videos online on how to do product research. And I'm going to give you 4 methods in a second. But before you do that, you need to understand these things here. Okay. You need to understand Amazon selling fees. And by the way, guys, I've got videos for all of these. Just go through my previous uploads and you'll be able to find them. Amazon selling fees, you need to understand how much Amazon are going to charge you to use FBA and to sell on their platform, because that's going to be very important when you work out your profit margins. You need to understand your personal parameter limits. So how much you can actually afford to spend on stock. You're going to need money to buy stock, have it branded, get it shipped to the UK or the US or France or wherever you are. Do your marketing images, get all your photos, your listing done. That costs money. So you need to know how much money you have to then be able to allocate some of it towards your pictures, some of it towards your stock, how many units you could buy at what price. So you need to understand your limits before you actually do your product research. And a lot of people do this the wrong way around. They're like, oh yeah, I found a product that sells £20,000 a month. And I was like, well, but I can't afford the stock. So why are you ever looking at that product if you can't afford it? Of course, you can get funding and stuff like that, but really you need to know how much money you've got before you get into this, okay? Or roughly how much you've got. You need to understand about restrictions and gated categories, okay? These aren't, if the product is restricted, doesn't mean that you can't sell it. Same with being in a gated category. It doesn't mean you can't sell it. It just means there's a few extra hoops to jump through, which you need to know about before you ever sell the product. Okay. Some people can get into sticky situations when they buy a product. For some reason, they don't try to list it on Amazon to find out if it's restricted before they buy the stock, which is a big mistake. And then they end up either having a load of stock that they actually can't, that Amazon won't receive into their warehouse, or that they can't sell. And it could be very, very detrimental to your business. So there's a very strict process you have to go through to make sure that you understand it's restricted. You try to list it on Amazon first. You see if there's any flags or any red flags, any reasons why it wouldn't be allowed to be listed, or if there's any things that Amazon require before they list it. You get those things and then you get approval. So just make sure you understand restricted products and gated categories. Seasonality, you need to know if the product's seasonal. Quite often you can kind of just guess. You can just think, okay, warm gloves, probably going to be seasonal in the winter time, and probably not many people are going to buy them in the summer. But there's some things that are seasonal you don't really know that are seasonal, or they're seasonal in the UK but they're not in the US, or they're not in Germany. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why you need to know that it's seasonal. One would be, as a beginner, you don't know how much stock you're going to need. You don't know about your cash flow. You don't know if you're going to get in at the right time. So I would stick away from seasonal products when you're a complete beginner. But once you understand how Amazon works, about lead times, about all the things that makes up an Amazon business or successful business, then you can look into seasonal products if you want to, okay? The last thing, intellectual property, so things like patents. You need to understand how to search for them. Again, I've got videos on this, tons of videos online about this. You need to understand how to search for them. Just because a product has a patent doesn't mean that you can't sell a similar product or a similar design or functionality, but you need to understand that if you're trying to sell a product and it already has a patent, that you're not allowed to sell it, or a patent pending, okay? So look up those things. They're really important. Note these down and just go and search in YouTube and you'll be able to find the answers to these, okay? So the first step of product discovery is something I call the complete solution, okay? And this was the little box on the left-hand side that I showed you. And this is broken down into 3 steps. Okay, the first step is demand, and you need to make sure that you're looking for a product that has demand, so that customers are going on Amazon every single day. Hundreds, thousands of people are going on Amazon and going, okay, I want this product. And then they go and buy it. They search through and they go, okay, I'm going to buy this product. Because just like if you were to open up a hairdresser's on a busy high street, you're probably going to have customers. But if you take that same hairdresser's and put it in the middle of a field, no one's going to go there for a haircut. No one's going to go there because there's no foot flow outside the building. So just like that, we need to find a product or products that have search volume, they have sales, they have demand. So there's 4 ways that you can do this. There are many ways, but these are the 4 main ways that you can use in conjunction with each other or in isolation. The first is using product research tools like Jungle Scout and Helium 10. They're probably my most preferred ones. They have the best data. There's many out there that are free. These ones are paid for. You have the chance to win the Jungle Scout membership on this video if you just comment down below. Just comment Amazon FBA. And these are tools that you can use where, just like if you go on Auto Trader or you go on Rightmove or any website where you have parameters where you can say, I want to look for houses between 100,000 and 200,000 pounds in this location. It works in a very similar way, but instead of picking houses, we're picking products. I want a product that sells between 14 and 16 pounds that has a weight of under 3 pounds and has sales of over 500 sales a month. And you can do these using these product research tools. We can also use them to analyze the search results. So when someone types in card reader, okay, and you have all these lists of card readers come up, we can see using these product research tools how many sales they're making a month, their reviews, the size and weight of their product, the fees that are associated with them. So we can have a really good idea about if the product is going to be, or if the product has a good demand or not. Okay, so that's the first one. That's the thing that I guess most people use, is product research tools. The next one is using something called negative keyword search on Amazon, and this is it does what Jungle Scout and Helium 10 do, but they do it without without having their product research tools. Okay, it's very it's kind of hard to explain. But if you type in negative keyword search on Amazon or negative keyword product research on Amazon, you'll be able to find this out. It's just a process where you can actually go through Amazon's catalog and you can start to use their filters that they have on their actual website to, again, find potential products. Okay, you'll still need some sort of product research tool for their Chrome extension. Let me just turn that off. For their Chrome extension, which is a little extension that you have on the Chrome browser that, again, pulls up the data that you're looking at, so you can see all the sellers and you can see how much money they're making and all that sort of stuff. So the next one is analyzing other sellers' stores. So you might be able to find a product on Amazon. Let's say it is a card reader, and you see the top people that are selling that product, and they're probably doing quite well. And you can go on and you can look at their store and see what else they're selling. And that may give you ideas about other products that might be successful, that might have lower competition or higher competition or better or lower sales. So that's another way just to get the ideas flowing. The last one that I've got down here is using Alibaba supplier brochures. So you can go to suppliers on Alibaba, which is alibaba.com, and that's it's like Amazon for manufacturers. So if you want a manufacturer, then you go to alibaba.com to find them. Okay, so you go there, you find a supplier, and you say, hey, can you send me your catalog and let me know what your best sellers are? And you might get some really great ideas on products that you have never heard of, you've never seen, you've never considered. And it's just a way to, again, get the ideas flowing so you can go back, you can look on Amazon for the demand. Okay, so that's one of the main things, is you need to look for a good demand, so you know that if you're going to invest your money into it, people are going to be buying the product. Okay, so what we're looking for, just as an overview, we're looking for good sales respective to the product cost. So for example, if something sells for £10 or $10 and it's selling only 100 a month, then that's really going to make you almost no money. Okay, whereas if that same product is selling 1,000 a month, it's going to be a lot more money in the pot, right? Like for you to be able to take. Equally, if that product was £20, then at 100 units, again, it's not really making that much money, but more than if it was 10. So you just need to understand about the product cost related to the amount of sales. Generally speaking, the lower the product cost, then the higher you need the sales to be, because you need the volume, you need high volume to be able to actually make it kind of economically viable for you. You have to make sure it passes all your viability checks and you understand if there are seasonalities, if there are restrictions and gates and patents and all that sort of stuff, okay? And then competition. If we look back a year or 2 years, and even people are still doing this now, where they are teaching how to sell on Amazon and they're saying, hey, look for things, products that sell over 600 units a month and have under 100 reviews, okay? And that's just like such a tunnel visioned way of looking at product research, because what you do is you disregard all these other products that are really profitable and could be very, very good for you. And I've seen people do these products. I've even done them myself. Okay, products that you think, oh, they're a bit competitive. As long as you approach them and you know that they're competitive, then you can stand out and you can do things differently. But you have to understand competition. The reason why competition is important to understand is because if you go onto Amazon and you type in card reader and all the sellers on that first page have got over 1,000 reviews, then if you're a new seller and you have 10 reviews, 20 reviews, even 50 reviews, how do you expect customers to trust your company and your product more than the ones that have over 1,000 reviews? Okay, it's going to be very hard to do that, and that's what competition is all about. However, if you were to able to come to the market with something that is different, offers customers a new opportunity, and all these sellers do have a lot of reviews, but your product is more desirable to the customer because it solves the problem better than the competition, then the competition actually lowers because you're not competing as such with the product, you're just competing really on the social proof side of things. So competition is kind of fluid. I don't see it as a set, okay, you need to look at products between 50 and 100 reviews or under 150 reviews. I don't actually look at it that way. I look at it as, where's the gap in the market, right? How do you not compete with the people that have got a lot of reviews? And that's the next two steps in the complete solution, okay? Step 2 is potential customer needs. Why is the customer triggered to buy? And this is what we really need to understand. So you're going to get a list, okay? You're going to have a list of, let's say, a few products that you found that have good sales. It's not like super high competition. They meet your criteria and all the viability checks. So you have a little list. You might put it in a spreadsheet. What you then need to do is start thinking about, okay, I'm going to get in the customer's shoes, take off the business owner hat, put on the customer hat, and you need to understand what it's like to be the customer, okay? And this is what you can do to do that. First of all, you need to understand what a buying trigger is. So a buying trigger is an event that causes a buyer to have a clear need, which usually converts into a sense of purpose and urgency in their buying process. So you might be sitting on the sofa and you might think, oh, I need to buy this, okay? What's the reason behind it? Or I'll give you some examples in a second, actually. So there's a few triggers or potential triggers that will lead a customer to buy. And there's two here, and then they combine into buyer's belief at the end. So let's look at away from pain first. So away from pain refers to the problem your customer faces that the product or service hopefully should resolve. Okay, so they're buying a product because they're trying to get away from the pain of having a certain feeling or whatever it may be. So an example might be an ab roller, the little wheels with two handles on each side, and you kind of roll them out and you get better abs, right? It's an ab workout. So the pain points might be that the customer doesn't want to look bad in pictures on their holiday. They don't want to spend more money on a gym membership when they actually could do the workout at home. They don't want to get it and then not know how to use it. So this is a pain point, right? They don't want to buy a product and then not know how to use it. And that comes into the solution later on. But equally, we have something called towards pleasure. This is also known as a pleasure principle. This was coined by Sigmund Freud, it's a phrase coined by him. And it just asserts that people will generally pursue pleasure instead of or to avoid pain. Okay, generally that's what people will do. So the same product, an ab roller, the pleasure principles might be, I want to have good abs, right? I want to be able to tone my stomach. I want to have better core strength, or I want to get abs but without going to the gym. So what you need to do is you need to really understand, this is only a really obviously quick way of doing this, but you need to really understand your customer. Just when I started my Hydrofuel brand, okay, so there's these ones right here. What I did is I really got into the customer's shoes and I started buying water bottles. I started using them and I started realizing the opportunity that was out there by being a customer. I then started thinking, well, what are the customers' pain points? And actually, a lot of people online didn't know the pain points. But the pain point was this: people get headaches, they get dehydrated, they want to clear up their skin, they're at work and they forget to drink, so they get lethargic, they get to their lunch break and they feel drained. That was the effect, that was the pain point that people were having. But at the moment, when I looked on Amazon, there was no solution for it. Okay, there was no solution. And then I was like, well, I can come up with a solution. Buyer's belief is the expectation that the buyer has in their mind before buying the product. If they believe a product will work, then they will buy the product. If they believe it's going to get them towards the pleasure or away from the pain that they have in their life, then they're going to buy the product. If they believe that it's not going to work, they're not going to buy the product. And it's our job to be able to convince people that our product is going to work. And obviously the product has to work as well. Okay. So step 3 is potential customer solutions. So at this point, we know what pain we're trying to get away from, what pleasure we're trying to get towards. We understand our customers. We really understand them about why they're buying this product. So what we need to then figure out is what solutions solve their needs. And I use something called the Vujade method. Okay, and this is just deja vu backwards. It's the moment when you see something that you've seen 100 times over, but you see it in a different way. And this happened for me when I was coming up with the brand Hydrofuel, and I was thinking about what the product offer, and I was like, how do I make this irresistible? How do I solve the need of people having dehydration headaches and not remembering to drink? And I was sitting in a coffee shop, it's just down the road from me, and I was just doing something mundane. I was just having breakfast, right? And then I got a notification on my phone. And I looked at my phone, and then it clicked. I had this Vujade moment where I've seen notifications hundreds of times a day, okay? But I was thinking, okay, that's how I can remind people to hydrate. I need to actually deliver a phone notifications to them saying, hey, it's time to drink up. It's time to drink 150 milliliters or whatever it may be. Because the current solution out there for customers that they have, that I probably have someone around here, there's products that have, you might have seen this, where they have 10 a.m. time to drink, 11:30, take another swig. And the problem with those is they don't solve the customer's need, right? People understand that they need to drink up and they need to be reminded to do so, but that doesn't solve it, because the reason why it doesn't solve it is to be reminded you need to be looking at the bottle. If the bottle's in your bag or it's in another room, you will not remember. And the pure act of looking at the bottle and seeing the reminders, you don't need the reminders because you've just looked at the bottle, right? It's like chicken and egg. What comes first? It doesn't make any sense. So I finally had this Vujade moment where I was like, okay, if I'm going to be able to solve customers' needs and be able to help them hydrate and get all the benefits from being fully hydrated, I need to be able to remind them without having the product in front of them. And that's where the application came in. I had an application made, and we were able to deliver phone notifications to people 10 times a day that are specific to their gender, activity level, weight, so that we can try and keep them fully hydrated. And people love it. People absolutely love it. The amount of feedback I get that's saying that it's changed the way that people look at hydration is incredible. Okay, it's absolutely incredible. And that means that you're able to stand out in a competitive market. For example, like water bottles was horrifically competitive. It's a very low profit margin product as well, and I've always said don't do these sorts of products for this exact reason. But the reason I did this is I wanted to show people that it doesn't matter what the product is, there is a way to stand out if you can solve the solution for the customer better. So I just use this method, and the way that you can get your brain thinking about this is do this exercise. Okay, so what you need to do is you have all your potential customer needs. What you then need to do is get a piece of paper or a document and draw a line down the middle, or just have two sides or whatever, and just keep writing down ideas on potential ways that you could solve the customer's needs, right? And just keep writing them down. It could be different materials, it could be different sizes, it could be applications, could be training, could be spare parts, it could be just anything. Literally think about anything you can do to be able to do this. Take breaks, okay? Come back to it after half an hour, come back to it after 3 days, and just keep writing down ideas until you have 100, 150 ideas. A lot of them will be complete crap. Don't worry, that's not the point. The point is that you're getting your subconscious mind working on this problem so that the idea will come to you when you're doing something mundane. The amount of times that I've been in the shower or washing the dishes or having breakfast, and I've been like, oh my God, that's the answer I was looking for. You must have had this when you go on holiday. That's when when I go on holiday, that's when I get the best ideas. When I'm not working, when I allow my brain to switch off, that's when the ideas come from my subconscious into my conscious mind, because my subconscious has been working on them over and over and over again all day, right? So this is what you do to come up with these really great ideas. What you're then going to do is create 3 different variations. So you've got these potential product ideas, and you've worked out all the potential customer needs, and then you have basically 3 variations of solutions. So variation A would be like, this, and this. Variation B, this is this. Variation C, this is this. You can then conduct market research. You go and ask 10 people or 20 people, which one would you buy, A, B, or C? And then just let the data do the talking. This is using something called the law of large numbers. Again, I've got videos on this that go into it in more depth. I actually did a talk about this at the White Label Expo earlier this year. I have that whole presentation uploaded on YouTube, which I uploaded a couple of weeks ago. So feel free to go and watch that. I go into this in a lot of detail. Also, all of this is it's all covered in the book. Okay. So you might be thinking, okay, well, how do I come up with all these different ideas, right? What can I possibly put into the product? And that's something I call creating an irresistible product offer, and it's made up of physical and digital products. So think about this. Think about everything you could add to the product, like anything. Literally anything. Don't hold back. Okay. Don't just look at other people and what they've done. And this is what everyone tells you to do online. Go and look what other people sell, and then see if there's a bundled product you can just add in with it. Don't do that. Okay. Think outside the box, because we want to create a lasting business, not something that can just be copied really easily. So think about the main product, any essentials and accessories that you need to sell with the product. These could be spare parts, or you can have educational material, ebooks, videos. You can have physical educational material, books, flyers, a digital subscription to something, access to a Facebook support group, a voucher for another one of your products, or a voucher for something else if you do a deal with a company that you can provide a voucher for, an application like I've done, a personal service. Why leave that off the table? If there's some reason that you want to be able to add a personal service in there, cool. Coaching, and it just goes on and on and on and on. Right? Think of everything that you can do to add value to your product. Okay, everything that you can do. Even if you have a voucher and the product has some ability to add some personal coaching, have a voucher for a discount off some personal coaching, which is another way to generate income for you. But the good thing is it allows you to stand out from your competition and do things that other people aren't doing. Right? That's what you need to really be thinking about. And this is what happens. This is what we did. We have the same product as our competition, exactly the same product, but we're able to sell it for more money. Well, how is that possible? I'm not spending any more money on it, but I'm able to sell it for more money. It's because we have a different offer. We've positioned the product in a different way to everyone else. It's just standard kind of branded, but the brand doesn't really mean anything. Whereas our brand, HydroFuel, it makes complete sense. We have the application that goes in hand with being hydrated. It just makes more sense. But is it really that different? No, it's really not that different. They have more colors than us, right? Their box isn't as nice, but they have the same carry strap. They have the same infuser discs. The only difference is the application and the brand. That's the only difference. Okay. But those things are still going to be hard to replicate. They can be replicated, but they're going to be a lot harder to replicate. Brand is something that's going to be really difficult to replicate. Okay. This is product research. This is creating an irresistible offer. Is you want to take something that people have done and they've done it not very well. They've just half-assed it and go, let's just put this on Amazon. Let's sell it and let's make some money. People can do that. You can do that if you really want to. But other people will come along that are probably going to be my students, and they're going to dominate you, right? They will absolutely dominate you as their competition. It's because they're going the extra mile, and that is going to make the difference between someone that is able to sell a product for a few months and a person that's able to sell a product for a few years, create a brand, and actually create something incredible and make a ton of money doing it. Okay? You're either going to be with us or against us, and you do not want to be against us. This brings me on to talk about unique selling points. Okay? I believe that unique selling points don't exist. I've even just shown you what's unique about HydroFuel, but it's not unique. Anyone can go and make an application. Anyone can do it. Anyone can go and make a brand. Anyone can. It is completely replicable. Okay? But what can't be copied? Okay? What cannot be copied is an emotional selling point. It's a feeling. A feeling is very, very hard to copy. Some of the biggest brands out there, they leverage and they market a feeling, not a unique selling point. So for HydroFuel, what I did is the tagline on the bottle is "Fuel Your Future." Okay. And the whole brand is built around trying to change people's hydration habits. That is the whole purpose of the brand. And what people tell me, I was literally having a conversation with a corporate deal I was trying to line up. I got approached by a company and they said, "We love the brand. We love what it stands for." And this was a conversation in person. And I said, "What's that?" I was curious, really curious as to what they thought it was. And they said, "We love that you're trying to help young people stay hydrated." I was like, that's cool. I've never actually said that I want to help young people stay hydrated, but I want to help change people's hydration habits. But they loved and they emotionally connected to that. And they brought it into their demographic of helping young people. Okay. That's what they want to do. They want to help young people and they want to help young people stay hydrated. And that was emotional for them. It was an emotional selling point. It wasn't that we have the highest quality bottles. Right? It wasn't that they're fully recyclable. It was that we want to help people stay hydrated, or particularly for them, help young people stay hydrated. I was like, yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to help young people stay hydrated. We want to help all people stay hydrated because of the benefits that come from that. So you want to be able to try and think about creating an emotional selling point. The reason why this is so important is that customers come to Amazon. When they come to Amazon and they search for water bottle, card reader, phone stand, whatever it's going to be, they don't have a brand in mind that they're looking to buy. Otherwise, they would have searched that brand and bought it. So on one hand, you have, well, why don't I just sell, crappy brands, unbranded goods? On the other hand, why don't I create a brand and go the extra mile? And the difference is in the longevity of the customer. We want to be able to get a customer and keep them as long as possible. One of the big things that you want to start looking at is the lifetime value of a customer. If I have a customer now, how can I monetize that customer later on with more products? Or for example, if I have my application and we get tons of people using it, I can put ads on the application. I can monetize that further on. But if they're not using it because they don't believe in the brand or they don't believe in the emotional selling point we've created, then I'm losing out on potential revenue in the future. So what we want to do is we want to take someone that hasn't got a brand in mind and we want to give them a brand to take hold of that we can leverage in the future. That's what we want to do. We want to indoctrinate those customers into our ecosystem and then keep them as a customer for as long as possible. When they're having dinner with their friends and family, they'll be like, oh my God, you never guess what I bought today. There's this incredible brand, this incredible product. You should go and buy it. At that point, they've got an email from you that says, hey, would you like 15% discount code for your family or friends? And they're like, yes. They email you back. We want that discount code. We give you the discount code. They give it to their friend. They buy the product. They speak to their family and friends. Oh my God, I love the brand, love this product. It's really helping me. And I've got a discount code. Do you want a discount code? And then it's just, you're creating promoters of your brand. And people that don't put time into their brand aren't going to have that. They're just not going to have it. If you don't put time into your packaging, so that when it arrives at the customer's door, they're like, oh my God, this is really nice. They're just not going to have that, okay? People just won't care about you if you don't care about them. To put this in perspective, which car is the best, right? I love cars. I absolutely love cars, engines, driving fast, being reckless, all that sort of stuff, okay? Which car is the best, Mercedes, BMW, or Audi? Some people will say, oh my God, but BMW is the best. All Audi drivers are dicks. Or like Mercedes is the best. Why is it that some people want a Mercedes and some people want an Audi and some a BMW? And it's really interesting when you ask people, because they say, I'm a BMW driver because I want to feel like I'm in the driving seat, like I'm a driver, right? I want to feel the road. Or Audi, I love how technological they are. They're really like dialed down with the technology. Or Mercedes is like luxurious. You just feel like you're in a really nice place. And the thing is that all these cars are pretty much the same. They're made pretty much in the same place. Many of the designers would have been working on, they would have worked for one company and then moved to the other one. They're very, very similar cars. They're extremely similar, and they don't really have unique selling points, but they do have emotional selling points. So what are their emotional selling points? This is their taglines. This is from them. I didn't create these. Mercedes is the best or nothing. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. And Audi is Vorsprung durch Technik, which stands for being ahead through technology. Their emotional selling points are ingrained in their brand, so that over time, over years and years and years, they've brainwashed people. BMW have brainwashed people into thinking that they have the ultimate driving machine because they've plastered it absolutely everywhere. The Mercedes, it's the best or nothing. You want luxury, or if you want something with technology, you go to Audi, but the technology in the BMW and the Mercedes are just as good, if not better, than the Audi. The Mercedes and the Audi, in terms of a driving machine, they're just as good as the BMW. And the BMW and the Audi are just as luxurious as the Mercedes. But it's the way that they position themselves through the emotional selling points that allows that type of person that wants the best or nothing to go and buy a Mercedes. It's that sort of person that wants to feel like the driver goes and buys a BMW. You see how this works, all right? It means that they actually don't compete for the same customers. It's incredible. And what you find with some of the biggest brands in the world, they all have emotional selling points and not unique selling points. You go and look at Nike, they don't have the best shoes. There's nothing unique about their shoes, but just do it, right? Just do it. It's all about emotion and the feeling behind a brand. That's how you can become very successful, okay? So when you're creating your brand, I need you to think about this. Who are you trying to serve and why? Who are your customers and why are you trying to help them? Understand that people don't just want a product, right? People come to Amazon because they want a product, but you want them to stay for your brand. Okay. The next thing is a brand creates that emotional connection that far outlives the product's use. If you have a nice brand, if you have a good brand and you have great customer service and the product goes wrong, people are going to be far less upset than if you have a bad brand and you have bad customer service. Okay, if the product goes wrong, they're just going to be pissed off at you. So you want to do as much as you can to create incredible customer experiences. At this point, you have a product, it's got good demand, you understand your customers' needs and wants, you have about 1 to 3 potential solutions for the customers, and you've created or you are creating your brand vision. And that would be your product discovery complete. And this is the thing that takes the longest when setting up your Amazon business, because it's quite a lot of strategy. It's quite a lot of trial and error. At the beginning, you're going to be like, oh my God, how do I do all this? But as you go on, you get better and better about it. Just like riding a bike, you get better at doing this. You get better at finding the opportunities. You get better at creating solutions to the point where you have created something that is actually can be really, truly incredible and can be a bestseller. Once we've got that and we have our potential products, we are then going to go through and look at sourcing them. Okay, so this is the next step in the one product strategy. So what is sourcing? Sourcing is finding a trusted, high-quality manufacturer, very important, trusted, high-quality manufacturer who specializes in creating your product, who also puts your label, which is your brand, on those products and or their packaging, like custom packaging. Okay, so it's just finding a supplier. Where do I source products from? China. Okay, this is where the majority of products come from. You can find local suppliers. I would say anything that is edible, then find locally. So if you're doing supplements, if you're doing anything like that, then and you're in the UK, find a UK supplier. If you're in the US, find a US supplier. It's just always going to be a little bit easier, especially with customs clearance and stuff like that. If there's anything edible, get it from your own country. Probably a little bit more trustworthy. And we always want to find a trustworthy, high-quality supplier. Okay, so this is Alibaba. It's Alibaba.com. It's free to use. Just like searching on Amazon, you just search for the product that you're looking for, and it'll come up with a whole bunch of suppliers that make that product. And then it's just a process of negotiating a deal with one of them to be able to actually get your products. Okay, so to do that, what you're going to do is reach out to a bunch of suppliers. Okay, because you don't know who's going to be good, who's a trading company or a manufacturer. Difference between a trading company and manufacturer is trading company are buying from a manufacturer actually making the product. Okay, so think of a trading company like a middleman, and obviously we don't want a middleman because they're just going to add a markup and add a cost on. We want to buy directly from the manufacturer. There are some instances where you won't be able to do that. So if you have a product that does sell and has huge demand, and the minimum order quantities are super high directly with the manufacturer, you might have to go through a trading company where they're able to buy in bulk, but they're then able to pass on smaller order quantities to you. Okay, that's the only exception in where you'd want to do that. But of course, the cost will be higher as well. So when you're reaching out to suppliers, there's a few things that you want to add in there, and I'm going to give you my script in a second, but here's the key points that you want to include. The potential demand for the product, okay? The exact specifications of what you want, the complete bundle of everything you need in it, the quantity of units, the delivery terms, and the delivery address, okay? Those are the things you want in your initial outreach, because you want to give them as much information as possible for them to start giving you a quote. It's not going to be the quote that you do a deal on, but they can come back to you with a quote that's as relative to what you need as possible. So here's an example of a supplier outreach script. Hi, my name is Jonny. I'm from Jonny Limited, and we're looking to purchase the card reader product for the UK-US market. Our primary sales channel will be online through Amazon.co.uk, and we estimate up to 10 to 15,000 pieces sold annually after we have a trial order of 200 units to sample and evaluate. Okay, and obviously all these things can change that are in the square brackets, don't know what they're called. Specification requirements, product, put the size, material, color, logo, barcode, custom packaging. Okay, if you have custom packaging, guys, then you have your barcode on your custom packaging. So you just put down all your specifications. Okay, continued. I've seen you manufacture these items. Can you please provide me with the following? 1. Quotation for the above specifications for air express door-to-door, ideally DDP or DAP. I'll explain this in a second. Shipping to the following address. Okay. Now in brackets I've put here, don't obviously put this in your email. This address is just for shipping estimate. So I've just found a FBA warehouse that is near me, and you can just Google like FBA center near me, and it will find your nearest FBA fulfillment center and just take their address and put it in there. Okay. It may not be the actual address that it goes to, probably won't be, but it's just so you can get an estimate. Now, air express door to door. What the hell does that mean? So it's air shipping and it's door to door. So it's from their door to Amazon's door. There are many other different shipping terms. I've got a bunch of videos on these. And the two that you really want to ask about straight away, just to be nice and easy, are DDP and DAP. So DDP is delivery duty paid, and that means that you pay the supplier upfront for everything, and then you do nothing. You've got nothing else to pay. They pay all the shipping, they pay all the taxes and everything like that. The only problem with that is you're not able to get a VAT receipt and a customs receipt. They will normally use their own. They will basically do that on your behalf, which means that if you're VAT registered, you can't reclaim that VAT. But also it opens it up for some dodgy dealing to happen. So I would say wherever possible, do DAP. It's also known as DDU. So this is why it can get a bit confusing, and you need to understand these terms first, is because they're all acronyms, okay? But that means that they're going to do door-to-door delivery, and you'll be responsible to pay the VAT or the customs tax as well. The duty. There's many other different shipping terms. You have EXW, which is just the price of the product and no shipping. You have FOB, freight on board, and there's just tons of other ones that you need to really be aware of, so that when CIF, so when the manufacturer says, hey, we can only do these shipping terms, you understand what that means, and you can make sure that your products will be delivered safely to Amazon by getting a freight forwarder or by asking them if they could use another shipping agent that they might have. So, but you just need to understand the terms, okay? Don't worry about it right now. You can find these out. Again, I have videos on this. Confirm that you're a manufacturer or trading company. You just want to make sure, are they manufacturer or trading? If they're a trading company, then the price is going to be a little bit higher than from the manufacturer. What is the cost of a sample with shipping by Air Express to the UK? You need a sample. You need to test the product. How much is it going to be to get it shipped? We're looking to bundle this product with whatever. Are you able to manufacture this also? Or do you know a manufacturer will do it? How many units do you pack per carton? This is a really important question. How many units do you pack per carton? And what this does is it lets the manufacturer know that you've done this before. Okay, and you may have never done this before, but you wouldn't ask this question unless you knew about ordering from manufacturer. You just wouldn't do it. Okay, beginners generally don't ask how many units per carton, because what happens, this is really important, manufacturers, they'll pretty much use the same carton sizes, and a carton is a big brown box with all the products put inside it when they ship them out. It's called a carton. And normally the sales agents for the supplier, they're going to be commissioned on how many cartons they sell, not how many units they sell, how many cartons, and the profit they make per carton. So if you can figure out and if you can negotiate on the value of a carton, which contains, let's say, 100 units, then you're able to negotiate a little bit better. Most of the time, that's what they will be targeted on, is how many cartons and how much money they can make per carton, not per product. Okay? Thanks for your time. Sign off, blah, 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 blah. So here's some pro tips. The price listed on Alibaba is never the price. It's never the price. Okay, you need to negotiate. Negotiation is normal. Use EXW price when negotiating. Okay, EXW stands for X works, and it's the cost of the product without shipping. Negotiate your shipping later on. Okay, another little negotiation point on this. If they give you the price and say, hey, the total price is $2.40 per unit, and that includes the product, this other bundled product, a product insert and packaging, always say, can you break that down item by item? And what you'll find is that you can probably negotiate on the product packaging or the product insert. They've charged you way too much for a product insert. And again, you can negotiate that down again, because they will always try and make money, obviously. But if you don't know exactly where that breakdown is coming from, then you're leaving yourself open to be shafted. Okay, so always ask for a breakdown and negotiate on each thing individually. Where possible, use cartons instead of units. And I've just explained that. Okay, what you can then do is once you're getting these prices back from suppliers, you want to start negotiating with them. And here's a little opening script that you can use to start the negotiations. Thank you for sending across the details. I've just been talking with various manufacturers over the past few weeks. So as we've just started speaking with you, I don't want to waste your time, and because we want to move quickly. Okay, add some urgency on there and just say, hey, we've actually been negotiating with suppliers for quite a while now. We've just found you. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine. So let's just get to it. Let's just cut to the chase. We currently have quotes for, and add in the quotes that you may have got from other people or make them up. Okay, for $189 USD per piece EXW, always make sure you specify, or $189 per carton if you know how many units per carton. If you can provide us with a better price, we'd happily move our business over to you. Currently, we're running on a tight timeline, so we're looking to get your best price as soon as possible. Please speak with your boss and let them know our situation to see what you can do for us. And this is important. They can't. Quite often, the boss needs to make the decision. Okay, and if you're saying that you're ready to pull the trigger, you're ready to buy, you're ready to order this amount of cartons, but you just need sign off, they're going to probably do a lot better job at negotiating on your behalf with their boss. Okay? Because they see money signs, they see dollar signs, they're like, oh yay, I want my commission, I want my money, I want to be able to hit my targets. Hopefully we can start along a mutually beneficial business partnership. Thank you, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So a few notes on this. Don't be a donut. Always order samples to test first. Do not ever, under any circumstances, do business with a manufacturer without first sampling their product. If it comes and it doesn't work or there's a problem with it, red flag, find another supplier. Okay. Always be courteous and respectful. Respect is a big thing, big thing in the Chinese culture. So you always want to be as respectful as possible. Always check the terms of the contract before buying. You will have a contract generated through Alibaba. Check it, read it, make sure that what's on the contract is what you've agreed. Make sure you understand all the terminology and abbreviations. Okay. Don't just assume that you know what something is. Always check. Okay. Check your profit margins, double check, triple check your profit margins. Make sure that you've not forgotten about a cost. Okay. That will be then sourcing your product. You're having that shipping to Amazon because you've arranged it all. All the shipping's done, everything's done, your contracts are signed, your deposit's paid. Normally you pay 30% up front, 70% upon completion of the product. And then it's going to be being sent to Amazon and they're going to start storing it at their warehouse. Okay. So then what you need to do is create a high converting listing. You need to create something where customers click on Amazon, they see your product picture, they're like, oh, this is a good one. They click it, they look at the reviews, they look at the pictures, they're like, yes, I want to buy that, buy. Okay. So there's 3 pillars to creating high converting listings: images, SEO, and reviews. So images, just the product images, SEO, search engine optimization, and then reviews, product reviews. Once these work in conjunction with each other, then you're in a very powerful place as a seller and as competition. Let me ask you, what does Tinder and Amazon have in common? Both users have tiny attention spans and are judging what they see only on face value. Okay, so you see people, I saw my friend do this, scrolling through Tinder, like swiping. I was like, oh my God, you're making such quick decisions. He's like, yeah, I'm just swiping. And what happens is that you need to understand that people have incredibly small attention spans, but also they can make decisions very, very quickly purely on what something looks like. This happens on Amazon all the time, and you need to understand that. If you don't understand that, you're going to be leaving thousands and thousands on the table for your competition just to clean up. Okay? So how do we do this? I created something called the functional design formula, right? Because I was like, this is a problem. How do we convert customers? How do we generate images that are predictably clickable? How can we do that? So I created this design formula. Customers have tiny attention spans. Your images must give the customer the exact information that they require. This is important at a glance, within about half a second to a second or so. The functional design formula is going to give you the ability to construct your images with complete clarity and consistency. Okay, so that you can do this every single time. Once you understand this, you just dominate on your competition. Okay, so the first misconception with images is that if it looks pretty, it's a good image. Completely wrong. Okay. Second misconception is the more you show a customer, the more valuable the image is. These are both wrong. A functional image is much better than a pretty one. Much, much, much better. You can still have functional images that have good design and look pretty, but they need to be functional. That is the priority. The more you show a customer, the less they see. And this is because attention is a limited resource. So there's something called Posner's theory of attention. And in that theory, stipulates that attention is a limited resource. And this is just like if I had 6 balls of paper and you were sitting right in front of me and I threw all 6 of them at you. How many are you going to catch? Are you going to catch all 6 of those? Well, you're not going to. It's near enough impossible for you to catch all 6. And what often is going to happen, you'll be looking at all of these different balls flying at you and you won't even catch any of them because you'll be so confused about which one to try and catch. Whereas if I stood there with one paper ball and I threw it towards you, you'd most often catch it and be able to throw it back to me. Okay, because you only have to focus on one thing at a time. So what we need to be able to do is reduce what we're asking customers to focus on to one thing at a time. Once we're able to do that, we can communicate very efficiently, very effectively through a list of images. So the first step to the functional design formula is communicate. The 3 steps: communicate, clarity, and consistency. The first step is creating images that communicate what you want them to communicate. So the first thing you need to do is figure out what you're trying to communicate. So the first image, right? We're going to go through some examples. First image, which is your hero image. What is the product? We want to communicate what is the product and what do you get when you buy it, right? So you want to show customers what the product is and what they get. Second image, most important differentiating feature than your competition. You want to show that feature up close. and text to showcase the benefit. That's what you want to communicate. I want to show them what the benefit is. I want to show them a feature of that actual product up close. And I want to be able to communicate why this is so different to everyone else. So how do you create the order for your images? Okay, what you're going to do is create a list of the top 3 to 5 most important features of your product. Put them in order of importance from 1 to 5. For example, don't put an ebook second, right? Because it's probably not the most important thing. I see loads of people do this. Second image, they put, it comes with a free ebook, thinking that that's going to be the thing that that convert people to buy. It's a nice add-on, it's a nice bonus, but it's not the reason why the customers come. Okay? It's not the reason why the customers come to buy the product. Think about it. So image 1 should always be a hero image, and image 7 is normally left for a lifestyle image, but can be replaced if needed. Okay, you can have another photo as well, but let's just choose 1 to 7 because they're available to view on mobile. So hero image being the first image, and then you go through the top 3 or 4 features. Or we can look at adding in a bonus on feature 5 or image 5. On image 6, we can look at technical information, dimensions, and image 7, we can look at a lifestyle. What I see a lot of people do incorrectly is that they have maybe all their features jammed into image 2 and 3, and then the 4 remaining ones they have as lifestyle photos. Sometimes that will work with some products, but the majority of times, what happens is they try to bombard customers with all the features within one picture. And we know the more we try to show a customer, the less they actually see, the less they will understand. So that's where a lot of people go wrong. It's a very easy mistake to make. So here's some pro tips, okay? Try to keep it to one message, one feature per image. Under no circumstances have more than 3. Okay, people see things in 1s and 3s, very rarely 2s, 4s, and 5s. So just like there's 3 points on this screen. Don't try and show people too much. Anything more than 3, people just see nothing. Okay, any more than 3, people see nothing. Experiment with the order until you get the most logical series. Okay, because when you actually create them, you might think, okay, we'll put this one first, put this one second, third, fourth, fifth. But then you go through it and it's actually not the most logical order. So experiment with that. It's okay to experiment, move things around, and see if it makes more sense. So the next thing is clarity, okay? And clarity is broken down into the image content, the typeface you're using, and then the graphics that you're using as well. The image content is super, super important. So if you have a feature you're trying to showcase, like for example, maybe this infuser disc, then you show that feature on the photo. You don't show something that's irrelevant to that feature or that's too zoomed out. Get in up close and show that feature. Don't duplicate images. If you've used this images before in your photos, don't show it to people again, because what's the point? Why would you show the same image twice? Because they've already seen it once, and if you've communicated it in an effective way, they don't need to see it again. People do this all the time with packaging, right? With product packaging all the time. They have it in their first image, in their third, their fourth, their fifth, and then in their 7th image. Don't need to see it. Okay, if you need to see it once, maybe twice, if it's on your hero image and somewhere else, you definitely don't need to see it any more times than that. Use high quality images or 3D renders. So this on the screen is a 3D render. It's extremely high quality. I had this made for about $60. Crazy, right? $60 for this. And it means you can do this really high quality, zoomed in, super nice looking images, just like any mainstream brand will do. Think about what would the biggest companies in the world do? How would they present this information? And do exactly that, because it doesn't cost a lot. The typeface, use no more than 3 typefaces. A typeface is just a font, okay? So if you're using bold, italics, and underlined, that's like 3 different typefaces. So use no more than 3 wherever possible. Use larger and bolder fonts for words or titles or keywords or titles. If you want the eye to be drawn to a certain word or a title, make it bigger or make it bold, okay? Or make it a different typeface if you have the ability to add another typeface. Do not use hard to read fonts. The amount of times I see people using really, really curvy writing, it's just like, what does that even say, right? It's okay maybe on your brand, in terms of if your brand has like curly writing, but don't use it all the time, right? People need to see it very, very easily. You need to be able to communicate clearly. Graphics, okay? Use graphics to join the dots, to push the eye and pull focus where you want people to look. Don't let graphics be the thing that pulls focus. Allow the graphics to point towards what you're actually trying to point towards, right? The perfect use of graphics is when you don't really notice them. So here's 3 examples, and sometimes I even break my own rules, guys, just to let you know. So 3 examples. On the left-hand side, we have the feature, which is the application. Free hydration reminder app, that's what I wanted people to know. Now, there is, granted, a lot of text on this screen, but what I found is that having more text, people actually read it, which is really interesting because I wouldn't expect people to. I would normally expect people to be more geared towards the middle image, which is less words. But when I actually showed people this and I had less writing, they had questions. So I was like, okay, well, if they've got questions, I need to tell this information to people in the shortest amount of words possible. In the middle one, I want to show the fruit infuser. Again, 3, no more than 3 things I wanted to show people. Food seal, or a silicone seal, removable internal infuser, wide opening for easy refill. And on the right hand side, we have something that's environmentally friendly, because I want people to know that it's environmentally friendly, it's recyclable. As you can see, I've put in bold 217 plastic bottles because I want people to see that, because even if they don't read the sentence, they'll understand what it means, right? 217 plastic bottles go to landfill each year. Okay, well, one person switching to reusable water bottles saves on average of 217 plastic bottles. Because you've made that bold, it's made it say, hey, look at this is important, and they're more likely to read the whole sentence. Okay, BPA free is in a different color. You can see it. You know, the graphics is used is minimal at best. Okay, so these are 3 examples of how you can do this. The next thing is consistency. So we're talking about branding, voice, and layout. There are other things that we go into, but we just don't have time to go through it today. But these are the 3 main things. So brand consistency. Think about the brand colors that you're using, the style, and the brand typefaces. Wherever possible, you want to keep everything aligned to your brand, because it's consistency. You need to stay consistent. So when someone looks at your product on Amazon, it's the same as when they get it when they arrive at their door. It's not going to be 2 separate things like, oh, the images were really good on the actual Amazon listing, but I get it and it looks like a piece of shit. Or I get it and the packaging is a completely different design. And I've seen this time and time again where people have one design on their product packaging and they have a different design on their Amazon images. And that normally comes from not pre-planning your brand. Thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do my brand, but actually I haven't even thought about my Amazon images yet. So when they go to their Amazon images, they're like, oh, my brand doesn't really work that well with this. So you need to think about this all at the same time. Okay, so layout consistency. Let's look at this. What I like to do is when I go to a designer and I say, cool, these are the things I want to communicate in each photo. These are the colors that I want to use. These are the basically the criteria. I also give them a layout consistency. So just like if you go in to create a keynote or a presentation, you press new slide and you get templates, right? They're all standardized templates. Make templates for your Amazon listing. So how do you want things laid out? A title in the middle, at the top. You want your logo at the bottom or on the left-hand side or whatever. You want to have some consistency so you know that everything is laid out to a grid, everything is laid out intentionally. There's no more than 3 features. If there is more than 3, then make sure that the designer doesn't do that. So have your layout consistency, have your layout template created, and use it. Okay, stick to it. Voice consistency. So voice consistency is really important because not a lot of people think about this, but you want, for example, the words you're using to represent your brand. So if you have a particularly medical product, you want to sound scientific, but you don't want to be confusing. You don't want to confuse customers. If the brand is quite relaxed, then you want to be relaxed, but you don't want to be sloppy. You don't want to make mistakes. If it's quite a funny brand, it's supposed to be a bit lighthearted. You want it to be funny, but you don't want it to be insulting. So always make sure that the words that you're actually using are relative to your brand and what it stands for. So here's a little before and after of the one where I broke my own rules. Okay, so this was before on the left hand side, before I had all the nice images and stuff like that. For some reason, I had the product with the thingy on the back, what's it called? The measurements on the back, next to an app with a splash screen, not actually showing the app, helping 100,000 people with their hydration habits. Title wasn't very good. There wasn't enough information on the points. I went through 4 points rather than 3. This is before I created the design formula. And then that changed over to free hydration reminder app. That's what I want to communicate to people. A hydrated body is a happy body. And then showed the app as it would be shown on an actual, like an app screen. Right? That's how people show it. They show them laid flat on a table using the brand colors, using the layouts that I set. Okay, the only thing that I broke my own rules on is the word count is significantly higher than I wanted it to be. Okay, but it needed to be in this case. So you can break your own rules, but I think you can certainly say that the image on the right is significantly better than the image on the left. Here's another one. This is the fruit infuser. This is the one I first created. This never made its way onto Amazon, by the way. And then this is the second one I created. Although it's nice to have the fruit at the bottom and the splashes of the water and stuff like that, there's conflicting information on this one on the left-hand side. Fruit infuser included, and it's not aligned correctly, didn't finish it. But then I go into the materials like toxin-free tritan copolyester or shatter and impact resistant, BPA free. There's 4 bits of information I'm trying to communicate on the screen, on that picture. And what happens is that a customer sees nothing, right? It's too much information. I'm trying to say this, and this. It's just too much information. So I need to strip that back. And I went with the photo on the right-hand side, your favorite fruit infused. And it's got a very, very clear depiction and picture of what it is I'm trying to show people. I'm trying to show people those 3 things, with the one in the middle being the most important because it's in the middle. Okay, and showing that actually showing the product and using the 3D render to show the different layers. That's more powerful than what I've done on the left-hand side, even though the one on the left-hand side has all the fruit and all the splashing in the water and stuff like that. Okay, so I do have a bonus giveaway at this point. If you've made it to this point in the video, congratulations, well done. I hope you're enjoying it. I've got another giveaway for you. So what I just showed you was just the kind of cliff notes of the functional design formula. If you want to actually win that training 100% free, then comment FBA 2020 and I will pick winners for that as well. This also gives you another chance to win the other giveaways. I'll also include this image. I'll also include this entry as in the original giveaways as well. And I'll just pick people at random to do that and to win those. But that normally, I actually sell that when you go and buy the book, you have the chance to buy that. And that is normally £197. Okay, so you can get that 100% free. Okay, so we've made some incredible images. Images are so important. About 90% of the reason why someone buys your products is your images. The next thing is we need to do some SEO, okay? So SEO is search engine optimization, and what you have to understand is that Amazon is a search engine, right? That's really what they are. Just like Google, they're a search engine. They just show the most relevant results when a customer searches a keyword or a search term. They aim to serve the customer the best products at the best price. That's all they want to do, right? They want to show them the highest quality product at the best price. SEO is the best way to tell Amazon what your product is and who they should show that product to when customers search. Obviously, SEO is one of the big ways that Amazon know what your product is. The other way is through search term conversions. So you might be thinking, what the hell is it? No one talks about this, but this is so important, okay? So when a customer types in a keyword into Amazon, let's say it's water bottle, and then they buy my product because of they search that word, that tells Amazon, hey, this customer or customers, when they search this keyword, they buy this product, then this product must be good. So let's bump it up the search results because it's obviously doing quite well. So the more sales that you get that are attributed, so they're connected to a keyword, the better you will rank for that keyword, right? The higher up in the search results you'll get when customers type in that search term. Organic searches, organic conversions count for more. So if someone goes on Amazon, they search it and they find your listing without clicking on any ads, that's going to add more weight to the Amazon's algorithm than if you were to be using PPC or advertising. So on Amazon, you have the ability to do PPC, which is pay-per-click advertising. So if they were to click your advert, it still counts towards a conversion and it still helps your rank, but it doesn't help as much as if there was no advert and they just clicked your listing. Okay, so at the beginning, obviously we don't really have an organic rank, so we need to use things like PPC to start getting this kind of flowing and start getting these conversions. But the more you get from PPC, the more you'll start to rank for a keyword, which means the more organic conversions you'll get, which means the higher you will go in that search results. So getting your keywords, okay, you need to understand first of all what keywords customers are searching for, and importantly, what keywords your competitors are ranking for. This is really important. So the first thing you can do is something called a reverse ASIN search on your top competitors. So an ASIN is just a product code. So every product that sells on Amazon has a code related to that product, and that's how Amazon know what the product is. Okay, so when they go in their warehouse, every code relates to a barcode. Every barcode has a place, blah, 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 blah. So what you can do is you can use these things called reverse ASIN searches, which you can type in the ASIN, the product code for one of your competitors, and you can find all the words that they're ranking for on Amazon. crazy. It's really, really cool. So what you want to do is get the top 150 keywords relative to the search volume. So amount of people that are searching for that keyword. You're going to get the top 150 with the top searches first, going down 150 different keywords. So the next thing you want to do is a keyword search. Okay, so you get the top 3 to 5 keywords for the product. So it might be card reader, or SD card reader might be another main keyword, and you do a search term report. And what this does is it finds out how many people are searching for that keyword every single month on Amazon and related keywords. Okay, and what you need to do is optimize that list to about 150, and again, rank it by search volume. So you want them in order of search volume. What you then do is you save these lists, because you're going to need them for 2 areas. First of all, creating your actual product listing page, but also for your PPC campaigns as well. So when you're creating your listing, make sure that your listing has as many as your most powerful keywords as possible. The ones with the highest search volumes, but also the ones that your competitors rank for the highest. Use every character or a byte as possible. So in your title, you might only be able to use 100 characters, or in one of the bullet points, you may only be able to use 200 characters. Make sure that you're using every single one, right? And if you get to 199, and they actually class this as a byte because some characters take up 2 bytes, make sure you use every single one. Like a space is a byte, even though it's not a character, a space takes up a byte. So make sure you use every single one, okay? You want to max it out, absolutely max it out. You then have something called back-end keywords. So you have the ability to add titles, bullet points, descriptions, and everything that the customer sees. But on the back end of Amazon, then you have the ability to tell Amazon what your product is, basically using keywords, a list of keywords. So you have a small field to be able to do this. So you take your most powerful ones and then you put them in there, okay? So at this point, through SEO, Amazon know what your product is because you've told them this is what our product is, right? This is what we want to be shown for. Go out and show our product to these people, please. So after you've done that, you need to go to the next thing, which is going to be reviews. So it's all well and good having good images and great SEO. If you've got no reviews, then you're really going to struggle, okay? So how many reviews do you need to get? I would say you need to get at least 10 before launching your product. And this is really important. The launch of your product is not when your products arrive at Amazon. A lot of people think that when their products arrive at Amazon and they start getting reviews, that's when they've launched their product. And it's not, okay? It's not. That's when you're priming your listing for your launch. A launch is a date that you specify. This is when I'm going to start driving traffic to the listing, okay? So you want to get 10 reviews before you do that. Your product is live. You can make sales, but you're just gathering reviews and you're just getting initial sales and data so that you can launch on a specific date with the listing ready to convert, right? It's already high converting before you launch your product. Because what you don't want to do is launch your product, put all money into PPC, into launching, into giveaways, into influencer marketing. And if you don't have any reviews, that means you may get initial sales through all these methods that you've used to generate traffic. But because you've got no reviews, you're not going to get organic customers buying your product because there's no trust. So you need the reviews first. I would say get 70% verified, 30% unverified. So a verified review is when Amazon can verify that the customer's bought it, they've had it delivered, and they've left a review. An unverified review is when they can't verify that it's been purchased, which means that anyone can go on Amazon, and they can go onto your listing and they can leave a review, but it's called an unverified review. So you can get some, it's absolutely fine to do, otherwise they wouldn't have the feature, but I would weight them mostly 70-30 towards verified reviews. Make sure out of those 10, at least 2 of them have images on the reviews, right? Images do a huge amount of good on your reviews because customers look at them. So make sure that you get 2 of them with images. How to get your first reviews? People ask me this all the time because you don't want to break Amazon's terms of service. So you can ask people you know, right? Now this is not allowed, right? You're not allowed to do this. Just don't get caught. Okay, but ask people you know that don't live in your house, right? They don't have the same address as you or haven't had the same address as you before. This is just how it works, guys, okay? There's many ways to manipulate the algorithm, many ways to manipulate this, but you want to do it in the most safe way possible because it is hard to get your first initial reviews. So you're going to have people that you know or they're like friends of friends, okay? You can use micro influencers. So find people with 10, 20,000 followers on Instagram in your niche, reach out to them, offer them a free product in exchange for a review and promotion on their Instagram page. It's a really great way to get, first of all, reviews and sales, but also exposure for your product with your exact demographic for free. If you do this multiple times, it's a really great way to get reviews, but also launch your product and get eyes on your product as well. And it's an incredibly cheap way to do it as well. It works really well. Approach enthusiasts for that product. So if it's a product where there's communities online or forums or Facebook groups or whatever, right, or Instagrammers, where there's enthusiasts about the product, find out where those people hang out online. Or if it's in person and it's a gym equipment, then go to a gym and just ask people, hey, we want to be able to give out some free products, and this is what we need. And just get out there and find people. The amount of people that sometimes reach out to me and they say, hey, can you analyze my listing? And I do that. I do it as much as I can for free whenever I can possible. The amount of times that the feedback is related to two things, images and pretty much is all the time it's poor images and no reviews. And then I say, hey, you need more reviews. People say to me, I don't know how to get them, right? I don't know who to ask. These are the people you should ask, and you need to just get out there and you need to do it. It takes time to reach out to influencers, but it's free to do it. You don't have to spend any money doing it. Approaching enthusiasts, going into Facebook groups, you don't have to spend any money to do that. It just takes your time. Just get it done, right? Get it done. You must make sure that they actually meet the criteria to leave a review. So at the time of recording, this could change. At the time of recording this video in the UK, they've had to spend about £40. And obviously you want them also to be a Prime member so that they're not having to pay delivery and you reimburse them for delivery costs as well. So that's ideally what you want as well. So how to continue to get reviews. It's all well and good getting these reviews at the beginning, but you want to continue getting reviews because the more reviews you get, the more social proof you have, the higher converting your listing will be. Have an email follow-up sequence. Okay, I've got these. I actually literally give you these in the book. Okay, it's also in Seller Pro Academy. I've got videos about it. It's everywhere. Okay, I have a really good email follow-up sequence. What you need to understand about email follow-up sequences is that the power of your email is your subject line. If you can get someone to open an email, they're more likely to actually read the email. Okay. If you have a really generic, boring subject line, they are just going to ignore it. They're just going to ignore it. So one of mine, I think, has a picture of a parcel and it says, did your neighbor steal your parcel? And someone's going to look at that and go, what? Did they? And they'll open it, right? And that's what happens. They open it because they're like, oh, the hell? I have another one that says, ... don't keep it bottled up. Because bottle, obviously. A pun. I love a good pun. And it's just more interesting than we'd love to hear your feedback, right? Which one are you more likely to open? Obviously, it doesn't get 100% open rate, but it's going to get open more times than something super generic and super boring. You can use the request a review feature, which is a new feature that Amazon introduced where you can go on to, particularly at the beginning, you can do this, which is great. Go onto your orders list and you can press the button that says request a review, and then Amazon will actually send a review request to them. Okay. Do this with every customer at the beginning. Just do it, because if they're not receiving emails, then they should be able to receive this. Have a call to action in a product insert. So if you have a product packaging or a product insert, put it on there. Put a call to action to leave a product review. Make sure it aligns with terms of service. Read terms of service first, but put it in there. And continue to do potential customer outreach using the influencers, using people you know, using enthusiasts. Continue to do that, right? Especially when you're building, because you want to get as many reviews as possible. Get up to the 100 reviews as quick as you possibly can. Once you've done all these three things, you will have perfection. You will have a very powerful and high converting listing. If you don't do any one of these things, you might as well just take money out of your pocket and just throw it away and burn it, right? Make sure you do these things. Otherwise, you're literally leaving thousands on the table. So the final two stages of the one product strategy are the launch and the growth stage. Okay. This is where, particularly within the growth stage, we're going to get quite technical. So bear with me on this. I'll explain all the terminology and everything we need to go through, but we need to talk about your launch. Okay. First thing, launching your product, your listing must be primed. Do not launch your product if you don't have reviews. Do not launch your product if you haven't got incredible pictures. Do not launch your product if you don't have good SEO. Don't do it. Wait. If it takes 2 weeks, wait 2 weeks. Okay. Don't do it. What you generally want to do is have some PPC data initially. So you might have run some PPC while you had your getting more reviews. You might have run some PPC like an automatic campaign just to start gathering some data. Ideally, you want some data before you launch your product, but you may not have this, but ideally you do want it. Okay. Choose a date to launch your product. So choose on the 12th of January, I am launching my product, which is a week or 2 weeks away, and build up to that point and have a strategy, a pre-planned strategy of what you're going to be doing on the 12th of January, this is what I'm going to do in the morning at 9 a.m. This is what I'm going to do on the 13th. This is what I'm going to do on the 14th, and have a plan in place. Traffic sources. Okay, think about all the sources where you can get traffic for your listing. Organic. So if you have an existing mailing list or existing customers or a following, leverage it if you at all can. Advertising, Amazon PPC, micro influencers, giveaway services. Think of all the ways that you can generate traffic, clicks on your listing and sales. Think of as many ways as you humanly can. Particularly things like influencers, you need to have lined up previously. You can't just do this on the day. 2 weeks previously, you might have been able to line these things up. Okay. Success is in the planning stage. Okay. Pre-plan what sources you'll be using, what days you're going to be using them, if they are specific to a day. Think about how much notice they need. If it is a person, how much notice do you need to give them to be able to buy? How many units do you need to sell to rank? How many units do you need to sell per day to sell more than your competitors? Because you need to be able to sell more to rank above other people. That's just kind of like a given. The other thing that you need to have is high converting listing. If your listing converts at a higher percentage or a higher ratio than other people's, you're going to start to rank above them, because Amazon look at it and go, oh, these people are making a sale 2 out of every 10 times a customer clicks on this person's listing, they sell a product. Whereas 1 out of every 10 times the customer clicks on this other person's listing, they're buying a product. Option A must be best because more people are buying it. Double the amount of people are buying it. That's why you need to have that high converting listing with high traffic to be able to rank above your competitors. On the launch date, launch your PPC plan, okay? Start driving traffic. Stay consistent for at least 7 days, at the very minimum 7 days. Really want this as going as long as possible. In this period, get as many reviews as you possibly can. If you're starting to get more and more and more reviews, don't hold back on this, then you're going to start to rank better and better and better. Reviews are so important. They're incredibly important, and don't underestimate how important they are. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly at the home stretch. Growing sales is tricky, okay? It's hard because you need to understand PPC in depth, and it is hard. So we need to drive sales. We need to continue to get more reviews. But what I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about is PPC, because it's quite confusing, but I'm going to make it super simple for you. So the 3 big things that are important, you need to be getting more 5-star reviews, hands down, granted, all the time. Just get as many as you possibly can. You want to continue driving the sales from as many sources as possible. But you need to implement a solid PPC strategy. So pay per click, okay? It's this little stuff here where you type in a product and you see these sponsored ads. A little sponsored thing, if you can see that. Have I got a cursor? There we go. Just there. These are sponsored listings. So the 2 things we're going to look at are key performance metrics, and we're going to look at a 90 days ad planner. Okay, so you're going to probably want to take notes here. So key performance metrics, KPMs. So there are a few metrics that you need to consider when you're doing your advertising. Now, so before we actually go through to the planner, let me just tell you what these mean and why they're so incredibly important. You may have heard of a few of these, but I'm going to give you some really important information about them. So the first one is ACoS, which stands for Advertising Cost of Sale, CTR, which is click-through rate, CPC, which is cost per click, and then ACR, advertised conversion rate. Okay, so we're going to go through these one by one. So advertising cost of sale, all this is how much money you spent on advertising to make a sale as a percentage. So if, for example, your product is £10 and you've spent £2 to sell that product, so £2 in advertising, your ACoS is 20%. You spent 20% of that product's value to make the sale through advertising. So at the beginning, you're going to expect your ACoS to be high when you're first launching your campaign, because the way that advertising works and PPC works, it needs to kind of warm up. It's very intelligent, but it needs to get data to be able to actually get the best results. So expect your ACoS to be higher when you first launch a campaign because you've got no data, it's not been optimized. If you have an ACoS of lower than 10%, this indicates that the campaign is underutilized, which means that you could probably spend more money, you could bid higher and actually get more sales from it and still be profitable. So if you have a low ACoS, it basically means you could be probably making more sales from it. An ACoS of over 150%, so this is, I'm spending £15 to sell a product that's £10 is obviously bad. But this indicates that a campaign is under optimized. Okay, so we're going to go through how to overcome these as well. So a click-through rate. Click-through rate is a customer sees your advert, so they search on Amazon for your product, they see your advert, it's a percentage of people that click your product, okay, click your advert, depending on how many people see them. So the amount of impressions versus the amount of clicks. So the average click-through rate is about 0.3 to 0.8. Less than 0.2 indicates one or more of the following issues. 1, your keyword that you're advertising for has poor relevancy. So let's say you're advertising a SD card reader, but you're advertising, you said to Amazon, hey, I want to show my ad to people that search for iPhone cable, right? Totally irrelevant. So people will search iPhone cable into Amazon and it'll show your advert for SD card reader. And obviously that's going to have a very low click-through rate because it's not relevant to the product and it's not relevant to the customer. So you'll have a poor relevancy. Okay. So what you need to do is when you're optimizing your PPC, you would go through and you would find all the irrelevant keywords and look to see, look at my click-through rate. Okay. What's lower than 0.2? Is it poor relevancy? Is this actual keyword not that good? There might be significant competition and alternatives. So if there's really high competition and they're basically better alternatives than your product, then people will probably be clicking their listing instead of yours. The effect of that will be a low click-through rate. All you have to do is type in the keyword that is getting a low click-through rate and just analyze the search results. This is the big one. This is one of the biggest reasons why you would have a low click-through rate is your hero image. That's your first image on Amazon. Your offer or your title aren't well optimized. If someone is searching on Amazon and they see your image and it doesn't look as good as other people's, the effect of that would be a low click-through rate, okay? A low CTR. So these are the things that most people have to work on. The other is low social proof. This obviously depends on the competitive of the niche, but this is the number of reviews you've got and the star rating that you've got. If you've got a 3-star review, then that's low social proof, which means you're going to have a lower click-through rate. Okay, the higher the click-through rate, the more people that see your product, the more people are likely to buy. So the next one is cost per click. So the cost per click depends on the competitive of the niche because everyone is bidding for these keywords. And let me just explain that first of all. When you do your advertising campaigns, you say what you're willing to pay for a click. Okay, cost per click. How much am I willing to pay for a customer to click on this link? And you bid for that. You say the maximum amount, the maximum I want to pay is £2.30 for a click. And if no one else bids higher than you, then you win the bid and you're shown first for that customer. If you are £2.20 and the person that wins is £2.30 and you're the next person down, so you're in second place, then you'll be second to be shown to the customer and so forth. Okay. The other thing that the cost per click depends on is the cost of the product, the price of the product. Obviously, the higher the price of the product, the more money people can spend on PPC to make a sale. Generally speaking, it's a rule of thumb. It's not set in stone. You can expect the CPC, the cost per click, to range between about 30 pence and £2.30. Once you know the conversion rate, then you can work out how many clicks you need to make a sale. So what the hell does this mean? The conversion rate is how many people click on your listing relative to how many people that buy your product. So it's sales divided by the number of sessions. So if 10 people click on your listing and 2 people buy, your conversion rate is 20%. Now, if you know that your cost per click is 50 cents, okay, your average cost, 50 pence, let's say, your average cost per click. So you now know that, let's make sure my maths is right here, to make 2 sales, right, you need, because it's 20% conversion, you need to spend £5. So for every 1 sale, you spend £2.50 on ads. If that is profitable, right, if you can account for that in your profit margin, then that will be a profitable campaign. Okay. Once you understand your conversion rate, then you can understand how much you can spend on a click. The next is advertising conversion rate. An advertising conversion rate is how many people click on your advert and then how many people buy your product. Okay. Is very much like your conversion rate, but it's specifically looking at conversions off the back of advertising. So a conversion or a sale that is attributed to an advert. You will also have organic conversion rate, but it's very hard to work that out. Amazon don't give you that data, unfortunately, separated, but we can work out the advertising conversion rate. So you can expect your ACR to be between 10 and 20%. Okay. Products with variations can expect a lower ACR depending on the number of variations, because someone will click your advert, they'll click through and they'll actually click a variation. And what happens is Amazon don't attribute that sale of your variation to the advert that provided that sale, that actually showed that advert. So you sometimes can have a lower ACR. So this is sometimes you just need to be aware of this. If you have a very low ACR, there'll be a reason for it. You need to go back and look at your click-through rate, look at your conversion rate, look at your ACoS and all those other things as well to see where customers are falling off. Okay. So now that we understand some of these key metrics, you can then actually start creating an ad planner. I think it's really important to plan your ads from 30, 60, and 90 days. I'm working on something at the moment called Seller Pro Ads Planner, and this is just the kind of cliff notes from it, but it's going to be included in quite a significant update that I'm doing to Seller Pro Academy, which is coming out soon. It's going to be completely revolutionary. But this is the kind of a brief overview of this. So days 1 to 30, you want to create your campaign structure. Okay, what campaigns are going where? What's the purpose of those campaigns? You want to be able to actually optimize your search terms. So you're optimizing your keywords based upon all the things or the metrics we've just looked at. You're going to start to adjust your keyword bids. So you're going to start to look at where you could be bidding higher, where you could be bidding lower, depending on the ACoS or the effectiveness of that campaign or that keyword. And then you're going to be doing budget control. If you can raise budgets, if you can lower budgets. So you're going to just start optimizing from days 1 to 30. From days 31 to 60, you're going to expand keyword visibility. So you're going to be looking for other keywords that you can start to look for, maybe longer tail keywords, that they're longer phrases that you can start to bid on those to capture more sales. You know, one sale a day here, one sale a day there. These all add up. So you're going to expand your visibility of your keywords. You're then going to look into new ad placements. So you're going to be looking at where you can show your ads that isn't in search. You're going to look at product targeting, category targeting, and all the other different placements of where your ad can be shown on Amazon. You then need to be looking at improving your conversion rate. What can you do on your listing to improve your conversion rate? This takes a little bit of time. When you make a change, it may take a week or two for you to get data back. So you make a few changes and then see if that improves or decreases your conversion rate. You're then going to look at stealing market share from your competitors by advertising on their listings using product page ads. And then the other thing you're going to do is defend your own brand from your competitors. So you can actually run ads on your own listing. So you can actually run adverts on your own listing, bid very, very high. So you always get that first position so that other competitors don't get it. And not a lot of people do this, but it's just a way of defending your brand from other competitors. Day 61 to 90, you're going to focus on your high converting keywords. You're going to take everything that's high converting, you're going to put it into its own campaign so you know what keywords are the best, the most powerful for you. This means that you could bid manage them more effectively. And if you want to be able to more sales, you can up the budget. If you want to have less sales, you can lower the budget. You can increase the bid, decrease the bid, all that sort of stuff. But you need to know what are your best keywords. You're going to increase your organic rank for targeted keywords. So if you want to increase your rank for one particular keyword, I spoke about earlier when I said, the effectiveness or the way that Amazon look at your rank is how many conversions you're getting for a particular search term. Now, organic is going to be the most powerful, but the way that we can start to rank for organic is we actually run advertising for that keyword. So if you want to rank for a keyword, you run ads specifically for that search term until it starts to get sales and starts getting organic sales, which means it pushes it even further up as well. So you're going to start to do that for various keywords. You can start with long tail keywords, so tail keywords that are longer and more specific, and then you can gradually shorten them because they're going to be more expensive as they get shorter and start to rank for more keywords as well. You're then going to do things like badge hacking, and this is going to be like Amazon's Choice Badge, Bestseller Badge, so you can start to actually get some real social proof. Once you have Amazon's Choice for certain keywords, again, you're going to do better. Well, if you have Bestseller for certain keywords, again, that's going to be a great position to be in, but that can happen sooner organically, but of course, you can manipulate this by running adverts on particular keywords. So after you've done all these things, you'd be 90 days out after launching your product, you're going to be profitable, you're going to have a great time, and then it's just a process of repeating the same. You might be able to recoup some of your costs, you may be able to reinvest in other products, but at this point, you're going to be in a really, really good position to start just sitting back and letting your product do its thing, create that passive income, and actually start to enjoy the fruits of your labor, because Amazon is a really front-loaded business model. A lot of that work is done up front, but once you have something that's converting, it's ranked, it's doing well on Amazon, you have to do very little day to day to actually maintain the business. That is incredibly small amount that you actually have to do. So once all this is done, you should have a very successful business on your hands, and really it can grow from there. right? You just want to keep focusing on it, keep working on the conversion rates, keep optimizing, and don't let your foot off the gas. As soon as you let your foot off the gas, then the sales will start to decrease because you're just not keeping your eye on the ball. So every week you want to optimize your PPC. You always want to look at ways where you can increase your images or your conversion on your listing as well. So that is the one product strategy as an overview. So we looked through the complete solution, demand, potential customer needs, potential customer solutions. We looked at creating irresistible product offers through physical and digital products. We looked at sourcing the highest quality products. And we looked a little about negotiations and outreach. We then in depth looked at Amazon images, the functional design formula, the SEO, how to get the reviews, launching your product, what is a launch, what is not a launch. And then specifically, we looked at PPC and how to actually create a 30, 60, and 90-day plan and understanding what metrics to look at and to value. I really hope you've enjoyed that and you found that useful. And if you did, I would love your feedback. I would really, really love your feedback about what you thought about this training and if you found it valuable and if you found it useful. Granted, I appreciate that some of the things I actually couldn't get into this training and lots of things that maybe would have gone over your head. But I want to make sure that I give the most value possible to every person in their journey. So if you have enjoyed that, I would really, really appreciate you letting me know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you do want to learn more, then I'd recommend two things, well, actually three things you do. Of course, subscribe, check out me on socials and stuff like that. But if you really want to get serious about it, there's two things you can do. First of all, the One Product Strategy book is incredibly valuable, just hugely valuable. And the book is going to be free. You're going to pay a few dollars shipping depending on where you are in the world. If you have any problems with that, like it's a few dollars, come on, then that is going to really help you. There's a whole bunch of stuff. You get to be part of the community with that. Every now and again, we do competitions. Like for example, as I'm recording this video, I'm running a competition to One Product Strategy book members, which is incredible, really, really valuable. This is the why behind why Amazon FBA works. Okay, and this is what a lot of people are lacking and what a lot of people just do not understand. I would say a lot of sellers that have failed, if they read this, they would have succeeded. Okay, and that's why I created this book, right? It's to give people the why behind why this works. The other thing is the Seller Pro Academy. This is my full training program, which comes with my personal support. I have staff that, we can help you out with a whole bunch of different things. So you're never going to be left not knowing what to do, not knowing what to click. When you get stuck, there's going to be someone there. We do calls every 2 weeks. Of course, you have tons of training, about 100, 150 videos worth of training. I'm actually completely redoing the training at the moment. When you watch this video, it may be out. Go and check it out. Links are all in the description, but that is the best way to start selling on Amazon. Hands down, I can say this is the most valuable training that is out there and the most affordable training that's out there talking about Amazon FBA. And importantly, we do things differently. We do things with the customer in mind. We don't do it like everyone else does it. It's just churning out rubbish products just to try and make people make a few bucks, right, for a few months, and then their business fails because they can't get longevity. My goal for the Seller Pro Academy, for the One Product Strategy, for my YouTube channel, for everything I put out is to help ordinary people create extraordinary things one product at a time. I truly believe that I can help you and I want to, okay? If you've got to this point in the video and you do want to learn more, consume all of the free content that I have available. I've got hundreds of videos that you can look at. Check out the One Product Strategy. It's a very, very low cost thing that you can get with huge value. And if you really want to be serious, you want my personal help, enroll in the Seller Pro Academy today and we can start your journey today. All the links are in the description. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Make sure that you have entered that giveaway. You'd be crazy not to because loads of people win these all the time. Make sure you are subscribed with those notifications turned on. And remember, you're just one product away. Bye-bye.